We are back with some Near Earth Hub versus Leela Patel. Leela, as we can see, has a pretty good hand of cards. There's an Account Siphon, a Lucky Find, Inside Job, some other stuff. I have with me a co-commentator, Andrew. How you doing?
Hey man, I'm really excited to talk about some blue cards and yellow cards.
Blue and yellow, the best colors. I am mulliganing that. I didn't actually see what I had, but I think the problem was I didn't have enough ice, or ice in general. Yeah, which against Leela, this was like my second game against Leela probably ever, but I did kind of figure out that you want some ice early.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea considering you won't have some for much longer.
Right. Well, if you could get ice on your centrals early, I mean, she's gonna have to run one of them. If you could res it, that's good.
I mean, it's crazy because like even if you were to take like an ultra protective approach of like, let's say, okay, it's Leela, she's gonna pull ice back. Maybe I want to protect my hand from Account Siphon. You do like maybe like a 2-1, or even just you defend HQ. If she scores an agenda off of R&D, now you only have 1 over HQ, and then that just it gets on top of itself, which is absolutely nuts. I'm starting to really warm up to her ability.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. At first, I really was not that interested in her, and then especially at this tournament, seeing Chris use her ability to great effect, I've started to warm up a little bit. I should mention I am playing on the left, Chris is on the right, and the game is afoot. Drawing a card with that Near Earth Hub ability. I'm going to keep track of how many times that fires this game, so that's 1 time so far. Ice. And hopefully I have another ice there. Nope. Hoping to go get an agenda there. He sees a Data Raven.
Is that ice you're looking for?
Yep. Lucky Find here. Get some money. Okay, and he's sees the pad. And he is trashing it.
That's good.
I guess, you know, he had the Lucky Find money.
Sure.
Might as well use it.
It's 2.
Installing. That is 2, thank you.
NEH count 2.
And I'm pretty sure that Data Raven goes down on R&D.
Yeah. Ooh, that rank job.
And he does use it. If that was Jackson Howard, I probably would have used Jackson Howard. At the same time, I mean, I don't know. With Near Earth Hub, I kind of eventually just, like at Worlds, I remember just kind of disregarding Bank Job because I needed to put my cards down.
Sure.
And it seemed to work out okay. So he does trash the second pad campaign, staying on top of that drip.
Yeah. Working for it.
Yeah, he's maintaining his econ at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I mean, I've been using Bank Job for a really
3 times.
Yeah. There we go.
So that was an install,
no,
drawing the hedge fund, and the hedge fund's played, and another ice. Playing against Leela, I really was aware, like, I need to at least get double stacked ice here on Centrals before I really start playing my game.
You can obviously notice that he isn't exactly running right away. Like, if I'm Leela, I'm probably running. Ooh.
So I do have to be aware of the siphon at this point, I think.
Sure,
that's 4 times.
You have to. Gauge count 4.
And
on the board.
Using that Jackson Howard to draw a Beal and a Toll Booth. So this deck is a hybrid, I call it a hybrid Near Earth Hub build. So it does have a lot of fast advanced tech. It has the SanSans, it has only 1 biotic. Astros, of course. It does not have fast track. Instead, I have mid-season tech in there as well.
Okay.
So I've had great success with this deck. In like 3 tournaments, it lost 1 game.
Are you rocking the
Yeah, I'm very happy with
mid-season
this deck.
Psycho or mid-season Scourge?
So originally it was Scorched, and then Architect came out, and I wanted the influence for Architect, so I got rid of Scorched.
Sure.
And so yeah, it's Psycho. I have 2 copies of Psycho. And the Psycho Beal thing, it's not hard to pull off. I'd say like half the games I win are usually due to Psycho Beal in some form. Either Psycho Beal all the way at 13, or Psycho Beal part the way. But yeah, I usually win with a hybrid when like I'll maybe fast advance something out. Maybe I'll just score an NAPD out, or just put a Astro down behind a couple ice and score it. There's like a lot of different ways to get points in the deck. Architect helps a lot with that as well.
Yeah.
All right, Logos is down.
Here we go.
He is going to be able to go search for any card in his deck when I score an agenda.
That was something I was going to comment on earlier was, with Leela, definitely I wasn't attracted to it at the start, but like comparing it to like Ian's, like Ian usually playing Logos before, it was like, oh, that's only triggering X amount of times, but now you can have Logos trigger and it's definitely.
Right, and so he'll use it like he has, one of indexing in the deck maybe. And
Sure.
So if I score something out and there's something on R&D, he bounces the R&D ice back and he goes to get that indexing.
Exactly, that's kind of what I was leading to towards, the start of the game when I was saying that
Right.
whole HQ versus R&D.
Okay, I think we had another Near Earth Hub ability there.
Gold. We're at 6.
Is it?
5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Wacko Jacko.
And that Logos, does that increase your hand size by 1 as well?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So that the sweeps week, I remember being very happy about that in this game.
Sure.
Drawing up some cards here. He's really looking for something. What do you think he's looking for here? Is Mimic, maybe?
Mimic or a safety fairy, just so that he can start face checking.
And I think something I got to be aware of is to get something over Archives.
Now, really interesting, something to look at is he just tossed 2 Plascretes, and he's seeing a data rate. Sure. I mean, I don't know that I would toss 2. Maybe I would play 1 on the table, but it's something to
Right. I mean, does that mean maybe he has a third one in his hand? I don't know. Yeah, that is a good point.
All right, that's just pretty nuts to me, because, I mean, my mentality with Plascrete is I've quote-unquote wasted X deck slots on it. I may as well play it just in case some Bazooka Wonkers goes on.
Well, and especially versus NBN or Wayland.
Right.
I don't know that I always play it, but especially seeing Data Raven, I think you do play it.
Exactly, yeah. You've put it in the deck, and you've seen proof.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
Once you're pretty sure it's not just a fast advanced deck, it's worth playing out.
Yeah.
So he may have another one in hand there, or, maybe he just kind of knows my deck doesn't have Scorched for some reason.
Sure, yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
And yeah, what I was getting earlier, I think I really need to defend up Archive soon, because Sneak Door, I think, is a big threat with Leela.
Especially if you
drop in
can
some
pull a
agendas.
face down, and then later on Sneak Door emergency shutdown, some type of deal. That can, oh boy.
Okay. Alright. Quick one, I will draw a card.
Drawn up again.
Put 2 up.
Oh, that was a... What's that card? What's that card? The one that you could just hop over the ice on HQ and not access cards.
Faint.
Faint.
Yeah, exactly. That's that emergency shutdown tech. Is that exactly what I'm talking about? Like if you're removing a card and then there's only 1 left that's rezzed, maybe the rezzed ice was in the 2 position and then you removed the 1 position, then you can shut down that, and it's horrifying. I've played 1 Patel deck. And, yeah, it definitely operated off that type of mechanism. Oh, here we go with the SanSan.
So we're gonna get a score here.
That FA. You gonna see some shoot the moon action? Oh,
You
there's
know,
that moon.
I wish Shoot the Moon was legal here, because, yeah, you definitely would. Okay, so
See,
he's
exactly,
off in-
there's that. So imagine if you had that first ice res, drops a snack door, runs, do emergency shutdown. Oof.
It's gone, yeah.
Yeah, that would be really
So that was
nasty.
the pop-up that came back.
Sure.
And what's interesting about that is that made my hand... what am I trying to say? I was over my hand limit.
Yeah.
And since I scored the agenda and then his ability triggers and then the turn ends, so I did have to drop that card.
Right.
And that so I had to get rid of I think a toll booth. There we go.
Smelled it. I mean, granted,
I'm
you don't
not
have any ice
sure-
res, but so now it's just operating as a quote-unquote good card, which is a really good card.
Well, he could still, if he does pull an agenda, he could still, take that HQ ice back or whatever.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a combo? Take the agenda, account siphon. Heyo.
Yeah, that would be worth doing.
Just something to think about. Especially if he's super convinced that you're not running Scorched, which
Ooh,
I still
and
don't
you know,
believe, but,
I did have 2 agendas in hand there. So I should deal with that sneak door. And Eli is drawn. Pop up
Go.
and Eli over HQ. Should buy me some time at least to deal with these Beals. I don't really want to just score out these Beals either, because that logo's in...
Yep.
Okay, pop up.
And now at least you're getting some money.
And here, where you have a 50-50 shot, I get lucky to seize the psychographics.
What's the ice in your hand? I can't really see.
I can't tell.
Okay,
That might be an architect.
sure.
Here's the siphon.
There we go.
And he could click through the Eli. At the same time, in this situation... Oh, he could pay for it. He has 4. Okay. Ooh, is that the toll booth? The toll booth isn't ideal because he's only, I think, 1 credit now.
Is that 1 or 3?
I think it's 1. So that's just a wraparound.
Okay.
And he could get through it.
I will siphon. I have 2
And I think he's probably going to clear these tags. He does.
Yeah, I think he absolutely has to with his blast group. Because even though he was sold on the idea that he was scorched, he still doesn't know that.
So that was another narrow hub ability. We're at like 6 or 7 now. We lost count though.
I think you should be at. Because I think
Okay, that's
Jackson
marked
was
accounts.
5, 6.
That sounds about right. So, the good news here is I am getting my ice resed, so I could start pushing out those Beals without a huge penalty. Especially with that marked accounts out now. Although I might want to res what I assume to be a pad campaign there before it gets bounced. Pop up.
Card.
I'm looking forward to those new alternate art pop-ups.
They seem very weird. I'm definitely looking forward to them.
Just because then that means you could have 6 pop-ups in your deck now, because they're different cards, you see.
Yeah, right, exactly. We don't play by the rules.
Alright, so now the pad campaign is rezzed. This is, I think, a good scoring opportunity here, because you have some stuff on the R&D, you have ice rezzed everywhere, basically. So just start scoring out.
Yeah,
Yep,
and
that's what's
you know,
happening.
I think you and I had talked in a previous game about that ability, that NEH ability, or really NBN ability to kind of score with 2 credits or less, because usually you're going to have recurring stuff plus ship from SanSan, things like that, and see that perfect example right there.
So I do lose my Data Raven on R&D, and he gets to go pull a card from his stack, but that's fine.
Wondering if he either pulls the Sentry Breaker here, he doesn't have one, or pull something like that if you have one.
So this I think was a big misplay, and I think he realizes after.
Did you have two? Oh, because
Jackson's on the table, right? So I'm just not saying anything yet, and hoping he'll go through again to give me some more pop-up money.
Well, I mean, at this point, he's seen the cards, so that action's dedicated. He goes back. Ah, you can see it with his hand.
So I'm just deciding what I do have 3 agendas there. I have 2 NAPDs and a market research. You know, market research is a funny agenda because whenever a runner steals it, they're like, "What is that card again?" It's like that card is not a card that people remember.
Yeah, checking.
Which market research is a really good card if, like, in a psychographics deck, it's really good.
Sure, oh, totally.
And before NAPD came out, that was, did that come out? Yeah, that came out before NAPD, right?
Yeah, I think just a hair before.
Right. Yeah, I think that, like, I was doing the mid-season deck back then, and when that came out, that's when it made me want to do the mid-season deck. So that agenda looks really good.
I just remember when,
so I did leave...
Restructured Data Pool came out when that 5-3 NBN, and I remember, like, I played one person that played it, and I just totally wasn't... I, like, had no idea, and then I was like, wow, that really sucks. That's really good when it goes off.
That making news credit, huh?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Just do that 3 times a turn, get some tags.
Yeah.
So I was going to comment, I think I did leave an NAPD in the trash. Sure. Because he's not likely to go check. And legwork coming in. So I do have a couple agendas in hand. This is inconvenient for me.
Granted, he has no agendas so far, so it's not the worst, but yeah, it's not looking so hot.
You're right. I'm not so sad if he takes one, but if he takes both of them.
That's my guess. 2 points. There's
deal.
2. Yeah.
And there goes the card back in, which helps me with the legwork.
Card density.
So I'm pretty sure you get to reshuffle at that point, and he pulls the last one. Celebrity gift.
There's the 2.
So I think, is Leela's ability a May?
I don't think it is.
Is it? Because I was thinking if her ability is a May, he might have not wanted to do that.
Oh sure, yeah. If it's a May, I definitely would.
I hope you don't have a mid-season.
And I think I'm deciding if I want to. I think
no, it is not a May.
I don't have.
It is when an agenda is scored or stolen.
You have to do it.
Yes.
Okay. I was just saying, I think I was trying to figure out if I can mid-season somehow, but I don't have that card in hand. I just have a Psychographics, which is pretty unusual. At this point in the game, I very often have a mid-season.
Club gift. Right decision.
So, show off that Beal confidently.
Oh, yeah. Come get it.
I don't know how I feel about this. It seems unnecessarily risky. I could have just scored it out. What is my plan here? I don't know. And unintuitively, my plan was to beef up R&D more?
And on the runner here, I'm sneak dooring or I'm leg working. And then I'm putting that card you just spent a credit on right to your hand.
Right back in hand, yeah.
Which is something, I mean, people, yeah, exactly. People are not used to thinking about this. It's definitely interesting when you see it in play. And I think Leela really presents herself in play. Like, again, you and I both were talking about how we didn't find it too attractive going into it, but looking at this, really see it.
Right.
Spicy
he
pulls.
got it.
Ooh.
See, that was a first click siphon, a second click run in, and oh no, I missed some other clicks there, but yeah, he does have tags now. I should probably get rid of that Katie Jones. That was a great pull on that field.
Ooh.
Oh,
Shoot the moon.
so that was a first click draw, so I can score it out, but I don't. I don't know why not.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
You know what? I'm pretty sure I just didn't consider it.
All right.
Because, yeah, there was nothing for him to bounce back at that point. That would have been an optimal time to score it out.
Yeah, I mean, you just drop it like
It would
it's
have
hot.
triggered Logos, but that's going to happen no matter what.
That's fine. What? You're going to be at 6-4 with 2 Astro tokens? That's
No,
not-
so that would be 1 Astro token, because it was the first click draw.
Oh, you were saying... Oh, that was the
Yeah.
first click draw. Okay, sorry, yeah.
Right.
Take that back.
So,
Take that back.
but it still would be good, right? I
Sure.
think it'd still be worth
Yeah.
doing.
Actually, click 3, I'll run here. Okay, I'll take 1. There you go.
Okay, so he sees a hedge fund. At the same time, he doesn't know that I have that, so I guess delaying it a turn. I mean, the worst thing he could do right here is just be to kill the SanSan, and even that wouldn't really slow me down too much.
Now you're dropped.
And then I
So that is 5 cards so far that have been bounced back,
Yeah.
which I think for the most part in this game just cost me the clicks and the install credits. I'm not sure if there was really anything that was open up as a result of that. It certainly weakened me.
Like, it wasn't... I think it was game breaking. You've had pad campaign, so that will account for the slot 2 ice. Quote unquote. Had that for most of them. So it's pretty much just clicks.
So this is the same old thing, indexing. Looks like he is going to get something.
steal.
He gets the Astroscript.
And nothing to bounce. There you go.
So at this point, I do think Shoot the Moon is off the table here. Do you agree?
Yeah, it is off the table.
In addition to it not having been released at this tournament yet, it's just not.
Right.
The game state is not going to allow it.
Yeah, I think the only thing you have left is to mass install 3 times and play Who Let the Dogs Out.
Click 1, I'll take 6
That's
off
the last
before
one.
you blow her up.
If I mass install the dogs and
Yeah.
and have an illegal corp deck,
Yeah, exactly, right. I mean, yeah.
right? Yeah. So this was let's just defend up R&D until it coughs up an agenda I can score.
Sure. And especially I think you had previously said that you weren't playing Fast Track, so
Right. I just got to wait it out, old-fashioned style here.
old-fashioned Netrunner.
Old-fashioned Netrunner is where you can't just have an agenda on demand.
Yeah, you can't just throw a June bug in a remote server and expect to win, aka 2012 finals.
2012 finals. That game is amazing. If you haven't seen that, it's an hour-and-a-half game, HB versus Gabe, and it's incredible.
Yeah, it's an absolutely grab the popcorn and watch match. Get your friends, get your family. It's a great time.
Must-watch TV. There's the 8th time that's a bit. That's like 8 free cards this game.
Yep. So here's the immediate question: would you have 8 cards, 8 creds? I know my answer, but what's yours?
8 cards.
Yeah. One of those is
If it was
hedge fund.
16,
Yeah.
if it was 16 creds, that's where like I have to make a decision.
Sure.
But the engineering the future thing is you could trigger it a lot more often.
Yeah, definitely. It's an interesting question.
Yeah, for sure. And would I rather have 17 influence or 15 influence? So something we missed, but I think really changed the dynamics of this game, is that unscheduled maintenance being played down.
Yeah,
I do say that mostly ironically.
like it's really interesting because like as a late game card, I don't think it's particularly important. Just because you're having to pay for the click and the install cost. So I really, at this point, I don't think you're going to be installing a ton of ice right now. I think you're going to consistently try and defend R&D.
It does make sense with Leela.
Sure. Oh, totally. Yeah. I think as an
Yeah.
early to
I can
mid
see why
game
he
card
includes it.
with Leela, yes. I'm just
Sure.
saying right now, I feel like he was just planning to play it.
Here's a question for you. Without Jackson Howard on the table, should I spend a biotic labor just to draw another card to try and get an agenda to win?
Well, let's think about how many. I'm gonna go with no, but
You know what? At this point in the game, with this many credits, I don't think that's a horrible play.
I don't think it's horrible. But I'm trying to think of how many of the 5 of the indexing you've seen. I think you just saw the 5th, or maybe you're one of.
Right.
So I wanted to make
It's-
sure
it's
that you
on
were
that
actually
threshold.
out. Yeah.
I don't think it would be a horrible thing to do. With 2 Astros down and a SanSan, it
Something
would
to think
be
about.
it's something to think about. It would at least be really funny.
Sure.
I never bothered to trash that.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's
Rod. Good game.
so the SanSan was down basically that whole game. Do you think it's really not worth trashing once the Astro Strip scored, or should the runner still prioritize that?
So, alright, so let's look at the agendas that we've seen. So we saw 3 Beals, 3 Astros. So the things that are left are NAPDs and you had the research one, right?
Yeah, market research.
Right, yeah, and you've seen that. So
So I mean, once I
Yeah.
had both Astros scored, yeah, there's
Sure.
no reason to go trash his SanSan. I'm speaking more of like the first agenda that was scored there. Should he have then gone and trashed it?
I think so, because especially if you're like, okay, let's say you quote unquote go broke early. He had Katie Jones on the table relatively early in the game, so I mean he could have made
Right.
up for that. And especially if he had another bank job, I mean, which we didn't see as I remember.
I suspect he did though.
Sure, yeah. I just don't think that was his priority. Yeah, I agree though that I would have early on I would have trashed that.
Right. I think there was the first Astro script scored off of it, and then from there I was able to just push agendas through. So it just made the game a lot easier for me having the SanSan down.
Right.
All right, looks like we're gonna have another NEH match here with some plaid sleeves, so we'll commentate that one, I think, but we'll do that in another video. So that is the game.
Join us for some more Netrunner.
Join us for some more Netrunner. Good job. All right, thanks for watching.